Hi everyone, Leah here from Kindred Gift by Leah Barthel, and I'm here with Nick today. And Nick finished the program, how long ago, Nick?
8 weeks ago.
8 weeks. And we had a very open conversation the other day, and I said, I would love you to do a testimonial, and she goes, I'm Nick, because she loves grief recovery method. So I just thought we'd come live to you to have a chat, pretty open, very candid, and just straight off the cuff. So Nick, what brought you to grief recovery method?
I had experienced a loss, and no amount of psychology, time, or anything was helping. So I was in a really, really dark space. And then serendipitously I met you through yoga, and then I heard about your grief recovery, and one day I just thought, I have to do something different to get the outcome that I want, and I am so grateful that I did.
You're gonna make me cry. I just love seeing Nick and the way that she glows now from the day she first walked in. The day she first walked in, and the weight that was on her chest and her shoulders, and now I see you walk around Cronulla and you are glowing and you're vibrant. But I also have to probably frame that with the fact that that is a direct reflection of the work that you put into the course. Like, you didn't just expect that it was going to be a quick fix, and you put the work in, and it's like anything in life, we get out of it what we put into it. Were there moments where it were tough?
Oh, there were very uncomfortable moments, and there were bits that I thought, not so sure I want to do this, but it's a process. And I've been very open to lots of different learnings and listening to podcasts, and I listen to Brené Brown a lot, and she quotes some research that was done that people that write about their grief recover 4 times faster, I think, don't quote me, than people that just talk. And I did a year of psychology appointments, and I just couldn't feel any joy or happiness or colour, and the process, I know, and the process was amazing, and it was challenging, and it took up time, and we got COVID in between it and all these other things, but I am so grateful that I finished it and that I had you to guide me through it. And by no means is my grief over, but I don't feel shame, I don't feel guilt, and I see so much beauty in the world which I couldn't see before.
Yeah, that's the thing that is probably what I've noticed the most about you. But I love the fact that grief is messy. It's not straightforward. It's not easy. But as we've said with grief recovery method, is that sometimes we can sit in that grief a little bit too long, and the process is hard. It's not something we just snap our fingers and put the work in and it's just
put
done.
it away and it's gone. That doesn't work.
No, and I even had a day probably about a month ago where I was a wreck for the day. I was just crying all day. I've done 11 years of work, or even more, but what that teaches me in that moment is that we are definitely not immune. It doesn't mean that because we've done the work that we don't have days that can be challenging or uncomfortable. And as many of our viewers would have heard me say, that a lot of the time when I'm the most uncomfortable, I'm on the verge of my biggest growth. But I allow myself to sit in that discomfort. I don't make myself wrong for it. And that's what you've just said too, is that it doesn't mean that your grief's over. That's a fallacy, because as we've talked about in the past, there will be triggers like anniversaries or special occasions or milestones that make that grief expand and come back to the forefront. But it doesn't stay there. It retracts back and it makes you feel.
And I think the best analogy that I give my friends, because I tell everybody now, so previous to doing grief recovery method, I wouldn't tell anybody. I was just sad. I wouldn't see friends because I didn't want anyone to ask how I was. And as I said, don't feel shame, don't feel any guilt. It is what it is.
That's the G word, you know, isn't it?
Yeah. And I've now got room in my heart to feel different emotions and to have an adventure. So I'm relocating to Darwin, and I'm going with an open heart, and I'm going to let things happen, and you've given me the ability to sit back and let things happen. So it's been wonderful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you.
And this isn't scripted, by the way.
Because with Grief Recovery Method, everything that we discuss is confidential, and that's something we commit to every week. And it's an exchange, isn't it? Because there's things about my world that I've divulged to my clients that is very personal, and so it's a two-way street, that a lot of that grief and loss is shared, but it is confidential. But it's probably more so because I know the way that you talk to everyone, and Nicole's Nick has actually sent me a lot of things and said, you know, I told this person about it the other day, and I said, how would you feel about doing a testimonial? And there's no pressure, and I don't want someone to sit there thinking that that is an expectation at the end of the program, because it is definitely not. Today is just an open and honest conversation, but more so I think we don't celebrate the wins that we have in our world enough. And the fact that Nick is sitting here and feeling into that joy and the love that she's been able to now open her heart to, because she has let go of the things that were weighing her down, that is what I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to show the you that I see now with the light that is extended. So I'm just beyond proud of you and the way that you've conducted yourself throughout the program. And I just want to say, if anyone out there is feeling a little lost or feeling challenged by grief or needs that new direction, because as you said, if we don't change something, nothing ever changes. If we continue to do the same thing over and over again, we can't expect a different result. It's like bashing our head against a wall and going ouch and continuing to do it. It doesn't work. So if you would like to know a little bit about Grief Recovery Method, just click on the link above and you can book a discovery call to have a chat, free chat. So I hope you have an awesome day, and thank you so much, Nick, for
My pleasure.
sharing.
My pleasure, thank you. And if anyone needs personal questions answered around what I felt, I'm more than happy to talk to you as well.
Love that. Thank you, darling. That's awesome.
That's all right.
Have an awesome day, everyone. Take care.
Bye.